Hello, my name is John Muleman. I am the head of scholarship here at Highfield School. I'm also the director of music. And this is just a short presentation on what academic scholarship is here at the school. You will also be receiving links from the other departments in which it's possible to sit scholarship applications. So that is art, DT, design technology, drama, sport, and music. I would say immediately that if you were to get awarded for example, a sports scholarship, you do need to pass common entrance at your chosen school before you can actually accept or take that award, rather. So, for example, if your child was awarded a sports scholarship at Cranleigh School, they would need to pass their common entrance examinations to get into Cranleigh before they can actually receive that award. So what is academic scholarship? It's an opportunity for those children in year 8 who are showing real strength, generally across the board, certainly in the core subjects, to push themselves in that last year. So the curriculum extends beyond the common entrance demands. And it's an opportunity for those children, really real thirst for learning and a real knowledge or sort of interest in just expanding their knowledge to really be pushed in all sorts of ways. So they will all take scholarship examinations. Some start in February, some run into May. So in that final year, it all happens in the spring term, or mainly all in the spring term, just a few at the beginning of the summer term. And the preparations are mainly done, therefore, through the summer term, at the end of year 7, through the autumn term, and through the Christmas holidays. And so there is quite a large workload for those who are going to sit scholarship examinations. The ultimate aim is to try and get awarded a scholarship, of course, but that is not necessarily a failing if the award is not presented. It's more about that preparation process. It's more about stretching these children and giving them extra emphasis and inspiration in these subjects. The right attitude is really important. It is a rigorous process. There are a lot of examinations to take. And some mental fortitude is really, really important. They are well supported at the school. They see me at least 4 times a week, twice in the mornings. In their keys activity time, they're with me, and they also have a couple of study periods with me. So I'm very much their sort of focus as to see how they're preparing, how they're feeling, and also just to keep an eye on their mental well-being and their general happiness and everything. Not everyone who starts off in this process finishes the process. Some decide that scholarship is not for them, and that's absolutely fine. That is not unusual. There is no shame in that whatsoever. It's a very close-knit group. They work together for the whole year. They get used to firing off each other and sounding against each other in debates and things like that. So we do have a really good working rapport together. There are 3 ways into a school. Well, 4 ways if you take common entrance, but for those who are taking scholarship, there's the opportunity to be awarded a scholarship, an academic scholarship. For those that do quite well in some papers, perhaps not so well in other papers, they may be awarded an exhibition. And then the other way is to not be awarded a scholarship or an exhibition, but to be granted CE exemption, which means that one doesn't have to take your common entrance exams when the rest of the year 8 are taking them in week 7 of the summer term. We have never had anyone who has taken a scholarship who hasn't achieved CE exemption. So I would say that quite confidently that if you are preparing for scholarship, academic scholarship exams, then irrespective of whether you're awarded a scholarship, one won't have to sit your CE exams because these children are sufficiently prepared for these examinations. What can you do as a parent now if you're thinking about this for your child? Well, what's going to happen the next step is that in week 7 of this term, so we're currently in the summer term, I will be meeting with the year 7 teachers to discuss which of those children we think could be put forward for scholarship. It's hugely dependent on the schools, obviously. Some schools have really very rigorous processes. They all have different demands. Some use different papers. Some use what we call standardized papers. Other schools, such as Eton and Winchester, have very much their own papers. And we will have discussions with you. So the school is likely to get in touch with parents and say, well, your child is showing real strength here. Are you interested with your child, have a discussion to think about whether you would like to prepare for scholarship and start work over the summer term, because that's when they really does start the work. What can you do? You can look at the schools that you're interested in, have a look at their websites. There are past papers on there, so you could start to have a look at these papers and see what kind of demands they are, and have a look at the exam dates and when they are. So, for example, some schools such as Benenden and St Swithun's, they tend to have them in January and February. Eton, Winchester, Wellington are always at the end of April and the beginning of May. They will, when I talked about those extra sessions with me, so those are general sessions where we have the freedom to discuss whatever's going on at the moment. So we do a lot of general, a lot of current affairs. There are general papers at certain schools. So Wellington, Eton, Winchester have specific papers where the children are asked, and it's very hard to predict what's going on in these papers. There's often a lot of art appreciation. There's often quite a lot of current affairs knowledge. So I will be encouraging this class to spend as much time as they possibly can learning about the world, what's going on. And so, for example, this term, our current set have had lectures on Egyptology. They have had a lecture on philosophy. They are doing some work on counselling and how people interact with each other. And also we've got sort of art appreciation lecture as well. Plus we have a dining society where we have speakers that come in. So in September, we have a specialist speaker coming in who's going to talk about China and the emerging markets there. So there is a breadth of subjects there available. And I would say actually that dining society isn't exclusively for our scholarship kids, that's for all year 8. We will also be discussing ethics, politics, philosophy, debating skills, presentation skills, interview skills, all those sorts of things. And then once the examination's over, then obviously and hopefully that set won't have to take common entrance. Then we would hopefully be going to Italy on a trip to forge a link with our sister school Fontanell'Arto. We haven't been for the last 2 years for obvious reasons, but I'm hoping next year, 2022, that we'll be going to Italy. And then in Common Entrance Week, which is week 7, which is when the rest of the year 8 will be taking their Common Entrance, there is an activity week where, so for example, this year, we are going to hopefully the Houses of Parliament. We are going to go to the Tate Modern in London, maybe the Imperial War Museum if it's open. We're doing a sailing day. We're doing a chocolate workshop day. So there's some fun things going on, and it is still educational. It's not a complete Beano, but there is an opportunity to relax a little bit. They also have a separate timetable, so those children are not necessarily in the Common Entrance academic lessons. So the present group are working on the production. They're making sets and props for the production. They're also learning Greek. They're continuing with their languages. They're studying Macbeth, and they are doing a few projects in science, geography, and history. So it's a really exciting process. And I think really the best thing to do now is if you would like to have a chat with me about it, then just drop me an email and I'm really happy to give you a call and to discuss that. But as I say, in week 7, we're going to be sitting down as a staff and discussing which children we think should be put forward to it. And so in the following weeks after that, for those of you that we think could be stretched by this process, you should hear from me and the other teachers. So my email is jmuleman@highfieldschool.org.uk. I realise that my surname is ludicrously difficult to spell, so I'm also available on music@highfieldschool.org.uk. If you have any questions at all about this process or any of the scholarships, because I do keep an eye on all the subjects, then please drop me an email and I will endeavour to get back in touch and answer your questions. Thank you very much.